Hey Gsac family, a quick little video with Dr. Wade today, April 26th. We have some puppies there, South African Boerboels, and they're here for their first shot. Beautiful puppies.
Gorgeous.
They're gonna be, when they get to be full grown, they're gonna be like what, 80, 90 pounds?
Oh,
more than that, much bigger than that, over into the hundreds.
Yeah.
So look at the paws, see how big their paws are. So when we have puppies like this, we have to have the DHLPP, we call them the puppy shots, the dog. And
So I think this might be his first.
yes, this is his first, and he's gonna get dewormed. So why do we deworm the dogs, Doc?
Well, dogs and cats can often be born with intestinal parasites that they get from mom. So if mom has worms, oftentimes when the puppies are nursing, the larva of the worms will be in the milk. And so while they're nursing, they might ingest the larva of the worms.
Okay.
So that's one way they can get them, and the other way is through the placenta. So the larva can be in the different tissues of the body of the mom, and then they can migrate to the different tissues, and that's how the puppies can get them.
So the worms goes for any breed, right? It's not specific to
Right. So any breed of this. If mom has worms, whatever breed she is, she can pass them on to her puppies.
Okay. Now the Corvax and the DHLPP, we do them every 3 weeks for each one.
Right, so we do them 3 to 4 weeks apart. There are some people will start with, if it's just a parvo solo vaccine, like that's the only ingredient or only component of the vaccine. If it's parvo only, some people will start that at 4 weeks of age. But for the combination vaccines that have the distemper and parvo and parainfluenza and hepatitis or adenovirus in combination together, we usually start that between 6 and 9 weeks of age, and those are done in 3 to 4 week intervals.
Right. So puppies, when do they get their first rabies shot? Is there when they should start? Is there a week wise?
So yes, 12 weeks of age is when they're old enough or eligible to get the rabies vaccine.
So that's the standard 12 weeks?
Yes,
Okay.
not before 12 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, some people and some breeders will elect to wait for 6 months, but legally they're old enough at 12 weeks of age.
Okay. Well, family, we're gonna come back to Dr. Wade a little bit later to do some more, talk about Bordetella and talk about shipping your dog. So this is part 1 of Dr. Wade here at Gsac, a healthy pet series for April 26th. We'll be back. Hey Gsac family, we're back. Dr. Wade has a biggie here.
Dizzy!
This is Dizzy the cat. Dizzy's here for his shots, get his nails trimmed. So Dr. Wade, people who have these cats at home, season is changing. Is there anything particular they should be aware of with cats right now in the season we're in?
Well, we are approaching our flea season with the weather warming up, the spring and summer approaching, and the heat and the humidity, which are the conditions that help fleas to thrive. So a lot of people will be under the assumption that if they have an indoor-only cat, that they are safe from the trauma of flea infestation. But that is not so, because cats that are indoor are still susceptible to getting fleas. One of the ways fleas can make their way into your home is if you have mice. And many people that have cats get the cat to fend off mice. And so when we're coming out of the winter, obviously the winter is a time where mice try to make their way indoors to take advantage of our heat and warmth and coziness. And so if they are coming into the home, they can bring with them fleas. And so an indoor cat can become infested with fleas as a result of mice having come into their territory.
Okay. So even though your cat is an indoor cat, they need to make sure they have these shots in with Seresto collar or something, or flea prevention.
Flea preventives, right. So you can put them on Frontline Plus or Advantage 2. There are many different options, or the Seresto collar. There are many different options for flea prevention. So you definitely want to have them on something that is effective. If you see evidence or suspect that your cat may have fleas, if they're scratching a lot, if they're licking excessively, if they have sores on their rump or around their tail base, if they are over grooming and licking hair out on their underbelly, a lot of times that is a sign that there's something going on. Especially if you see the cat stop, suddenly turn, and start nipping at an area if they seem particularly bothered. It doesn't hurt to put the flea preventative on them even if you don't see evidence, but if they're showing signs that there could be, to rather not take a chance so that you don't end up 3 months later with a terrible flea infestation, you might just go ahead and put them on something to protect them.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Doc, about chipping. Do people chip cats?
Yes, you can microchip your cat as well.
Microchip your cat?
It's not done as commonly, but especially if you have a cat that's indoor-outdoor, or a cat that likes to sneak outside, it's not a bad idea to do that.
So what's chipping? What does the chipping do for people who has heard about them? What's the pros and cons, if there's any cons to chipping?
So really, the con is only that it's a big needle. But even though it's a big needle, a lot of small animals tolerate it just the same. We use the same needle on adult dogs that we use on little puppies and kittens. So, they're tough enough, they can handle it.
Okay.
And it's a quick, it's like one quick poke, so before they know it, it's over. For really small dogs, I would usually recommend waiting until they're a little bit older, just so they're larger in size, because the needle is a large bore needle, so it creates a big hole. So just to make sure that the chip doesn't manipulate itself back out the hole, I wait till they're a little bit bigger. You can also do it when they are coming in for their spay or neuter and they're under anesthesia, and that way they don't feel the effects of the large needle.
Okay,
Such a cool
so we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk to Dr. Wade again a little bit later. We're gonna cover some the Bordetella shot with the dogs and the importance of Bordetella and who needs it and why they need it. So we're gonna give you her information. Dr. Wade, give them your address and your phone number, please.
So when I'm not here at Green Street Animal Care, you can find me at Wincote Animal Hospital. That's the practice that I run in West Oak Lane, and we are located at 6701 Wincote Avenue, and the phone number is 215-224-2764.
Okay, now thank you, Dr. Wade. We'll come back later with Dr. Wade, puppy, and or dog, and we're going to talk about the Bordetella shot and what that's about. Thank you very much. Okay, Gsac family, here with Dr. Wade on a Wade Monday here at Gsac, Healthy Pets. And we're going to talk a little bit about Bordetella shots, the importance of the shots. Mostly now in the season is changing. Our subject on the table is Storm.
This is the darling Storm.
Yeah, Storm
She's a star. She's beautiful. She's a boxer, and she's chocolate. You see that beautiful coat color? She's gorgeous, and she's got a sweet temperament too. Right, Miss Storm? So so we're talking about Bordetella. Storm is not getting the Bordetella today, but the Bordetella is a vaccine to protect against an upper respiratory infection, commonly termed the kennel cough, which is actually an inflammation and infectious respiratory disease of the trachea or the airway. So when dogs have kennel cough, they have this really terrible, loud, hacking cough, and it is something that they can contract very easily. It's highly contagious. It's spread through respiratory droplets. And it's called kennel cough because it spreads through a kennel like wildfire. So most kennels, and pretty much all kennels, will require the dog to be vaccinated against Bordetella before allowing them to board to prevent an outbreak of kennel cough. So the Bordetella vaccine can be given intranasally, which we would squirt it through the nostrils using a syringe that also would have a little applicator affixed to it. And then we put it in the nostril of the dog and squirt the syringe into the vaccine into the nasal cavity.
So Dr. Wade, let me ask you, so Botticelli, what other reasons they might need it? Is it something they need when they're around a lot of other animals, dogs and stuff like that?
Yes.
Like in dog parks and stuff?
So if it's a dog that socializes frequently, right? So usually it's spread in an enclosed, confined area, such as a kennel, where the dogs are in close contact and they may be nose to nose if they're passing one another through the cage, or they're barking a lot and respiratory droplets are spreading in the air and it becomes aerosolized and the dog can inhale it. When they're outside, it's less likely for that to happen.
Okay.
But if they are in a dog park where they're constantly playing close proximity to a lot of other dogs, nose to nose, then yes, they will be more susceptible to it. So it may not be a bad idea if your dog frequents dog parks, or if it goes to like doggy daycare, or if it is a show dog, and it is going to be in a setting where it's around lots of other dogs in a small confined area. So doggy daycare, frequenting dog parks, doggy puppy training classes, any of those type of settings where you have a group of dogs in close proximity one to another, where they might be licking out of each other's bowl or things of that nature, because it's, like I said, it's transmitted very easily, not just directly, but on what we call fomites or inanimate objects. So the dog has kennel cough and they cough and expectorant comes out, or mucus or droplets, and they gets on the floor, and another dog comes and sniffs it and licks it up. They get contracted that way.
Okay. One more question for you, Dr. Wade. Okay, the DHLPP and the DHPP, why is the L in some and not in others?
Right, so the difference is the component of lepto. So DHLPP has the lepto component in that vaccine, whereas the DHPP does not include the lepto component. Lepto is a bacterial disease that's transmitted by small mammals or rodents, possums, raccoons, squirrels, mice, rats. So, so that's what the lepto component is. That's what the L in the DHLPP stands for.
Okay. Well, Dr. Wade, thank you so much for that. Please give your contact information if anyone has any questions. They would need your services. How can people find you when you're not here?
So I can be found at Wincote Animal Hospital, which is in West Oak Lane, Philadelphia. The address is 6701 Wincote Avenue, and the phone number is 215-224-2764.
Do you have a website?
www.wincoteanimalhospital.com.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Wade, and we will come back and talk to Dr. Wade next time she's here.
All right. Say bye.
Mm-hmm.